you know, the book has to stand on its own. Like Paper Towns is a good book or a bad book, and nothing that happens in Hollywood can affect the quality of the book that I wrote, because nothing that movies can do can be you know, can be captured in what is hopefully good about the book. Like all of the, you know, the thematic life of the story, the symbolic resonances, the metaphorical resonances, those aren't recreatable in the world of film, um, if you try to faithfully adapt it, which I think is something that you saw with like Into the Wild, where all of the, you know, what had been, you know, quite subtle and interesting and provocative metaphor in the novel became really heavy-handed and stupid when it was visually presented to you. So yeah, I mean that's all. Yeah, but by the way, like Nerd Fighters can trick the New York Times bestseller list because you don't have to sell very many books to get on the New York Times bestseller list. But we could not probably single-handedly trick Hollywood. Like if every Nerd Fighter went to a movie, that would be like $430,000 at the box office. So it would be a gigantic failure. Would the Paper Towns movie actually film in Florida? Probably not, because movie production companies do not choose where to film movies based on anything other than money, and Florida is not a good money place to make a movie because there are not good tax breaks. They would either film it in Louisiana or California, probably. Um, yeah, Running with Turtles asks about the Looking for Alaska movie. Yeah, the Alaska movie sold to Paramount several years ago with Josh Schwartz attached to write a screenplay and direct, and he wrote a screenplay and it was good, and then they never made the movie because they thought it was too quiet to make any money, which it probably was. So I mean that's pretty typical that they don't make the movie. You know, like y'all are used to Twilight and Harry Potter and like books. I mean, it's hard for you to understand like the extent to which Twilight and Harry Potter are gigantic hits in the publishing business. I mean, like I said, there are 150,000 books published every year, and there's one that's like Twilight or Harry Potter at most. Oftentimes, there's none. So those books are going to get made into movies, but for the rest of us, people option stuff and don't make it all the time. So that's just part of life. It doesn't keep me up at night. Alan wants to know if he can repurchase the movie rights. Yes, but it won't be cheap. Um, so yeah, what Mountain Goat song was the gang listening to in the car? I don't know. We'll say they were listening to Game Shows Destroy Our Lives. Either that or No Children, which is a great sing along, I think. Um, I'm scrolling up for more questions. Someone wants to know if I would make a cameo in the film version of Paper Towns. They usually have the author appear some way. Like David and Rachel are in Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, but yeah, it's not something that keeps me up at night. Those of you who are offering to buy tickets to your entire school for the Paper Towns movie when it comes out, I have an alternative idea. Buy books for your entire school now. You know, in the end, like reading is a much better experience anyway than watching a movie, because movies last for an hour and 40 minutes and books last for many, many hours and sometimes years. Um, Phoebe, did you really buy 17 copies of Paper Towns? That's too many. Now I feel bad. Now I feel bad. Um, yeah. I bought 17, but, you know, I had to give a lot of them away. So it made sense for me. I wonder where Sarah is. I mean, she's supposed to come here right now. Um, those of you who have like two happy Margos or two sad Margos, you should find a nerd fighter to trade with. I've always thought that that would be kind of a good idea to be able to like trade it around, you know? Yeah. Hold on, I gotta look at something. I know Happy Margot's cover is shinier, um, but then Sad Margot's cover is more matted. So, yeah, the matting is actually more, making something matted is actually more expensive than making it shiny. So, in terms of which cost more to produce, I think it was the Sad Margot rather than the Happy Margot. Yeah. Um, well, I mean, I understand the case for shiny, but like we were trying to make an argument about both of the covers being wrong, so we wanted them to be as different as possible, so that the wrongness of each of them would be exaggerated. 17 is not too many. No, 17 is the perfect number. Yeah, I mean, for those of you who haven't like bought paper towns, I think that's great because, um, obviously I'd like to sell some this week too, since we sold a lot last week. It turns out that we sold like way, way too many. Um, there is a rumor that I'm going to Australia next year. Unfortunately, like it doesn't look as good as it looked a few months ago, but I'm really, really trying to get to Australia. I promise. Um, I'm really, really trying. Yeah, MK says that she didn't. The people at Borders didn't know that there were two covers. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that there are two covers because they didn't do a very good job of letting the booksellers know that. But I'm not gonna worry about it. But yes, it does make a great Christmas gift. Oh, who's the king of carrot flowers? Is that Sarah? Yay! Hi! Thanks for coming to my show. I'm gonna make you an op, Sarah, so you can have absolute control over everything that happens in this room. If you don't like anybody, just kick them out. Kick them out. Um, oh, I'm sorry that you had to log in. You should have been able to get in just as a guest. So, yeah, that's actually Sarah. Um, oh, guests can't chat. That's true. They can only watch. They can only bear witness to the awesome. They cannot be part of the awesome. How come Alan doesn't have ops? That's a good question. Let's give him ops. We haven't really needed an op because there aren't that many people here really. So, um, yeah, I'm sorry. That's new and weird that people who are guests can't chat. But I guess it's their attention, their ability to. I mean, they're really trying to like up their member number. Speaking of which, you guys should subscribe. I guess you probably already are all subscribed, but if you aren't, you should. Um, so, did the feminist mystic play into your writing in any way? I don't know who the feminist mystic is. Is she a particular feminist, or do you mean like the idea of feminism? Sarah says I look handsome on BlogTV. Thank you. Are you implying that I do not look handsome in real life? Oh, like the idea of feminine mystique? Did that play into my? I know you knew I'd say that. I can't. No, my jokes are not funny to Sarah because she can anticipate them. Um, I mean, more than playing with feminine mystique, I'm playing with the idea that the romantic other, whether it's a boy or a girl, is always romanticized by the person who's loving them. So we always think of the people we love as being, or particularly when we're not dating them, as being somehow more than human or somehow more having more awesome available to us than we have ourselves. The Edward Cullenization of the romantic other. We think of the romantic other as being this like perfect, magnificent creature capable of nothing but kindness toward us and toward everyone. And when that myth is shattered, it's devastating for both the person who's doing the imagining and the person who's being imagined because whenever someone is thinking of you as more than a person, there's always the tension there because you know that it's a lie, and I think that the distance between the lie and the truth on the inside of you can be very destructive. So that's why that's what I was playing with Margot. I was trying to kind of stab a heart in the idea of the manic pixie dream girl and sort of by proxy also in the idea of the manic pixie dream boy Edward Cullen. The hotel is nice. I got a suite here. So that's nice. I like the it's like